Hello, everyone. I would like to explain a lesson that I've been learning in life itself, actually, and what this life is about. So, to explain this, I'm going to tell you recently what happened to me. So, my mother called me and she told me a, a story about her cat getting locked in the bathroom and tearing up the carpet. And then she told me that the cat went into the garage and got trapped in the garage. And she expressed a lot of frustration, anger, really saying that she hated this cat, a lot of malicious thoughts about the cat. And this caused me anxiety and really just wanting to push this away, not really wanting to hear this. Now, what I did was I had to stop and look at myself within and ask myself, what is this about? And with anything that challenges us, it's because it's a lesson. It's a lesson that we must learn. Now I can understand what her lesson is, and the lesson is always about love. It's always about love. And love is about connection. Love is about connection rather than separation. And so there was much separation with this cat story for my mother. She saw the cat as something against her, not understanding the cat and a cat's point of view, and seeing it as the enemy. But I'm not going to focus on my mother's lesson here. That's not what this is about. This is about me. This is about you. This is about your lesson, my lesson, right? So my whole point is I could try to force her to learn her lesson. I could tell her, and I've tried, believe me, I could try to convince her what her lesson is. I could try to force her into learning her lesson, or I could just really just argue with her, or I could just fall into that frustration, that anxiety, that kind of thinking, and just fight against it. But I asked myself, what is this about? What is going to really help? So I think that from a loving standpoint, yes, I could talk to my mother and tell her what might help. I think that I could understand her, right? So she can understand the cat. That would be loving. I can also understand my mother, and that would be loving. But also, I need to understand myself. In any situation, loving yourself in that situation, seeing yourself instead of it as a victim in the situation. So, love is about connection, understanding that we are not separate, understanding that once we find peace and love, the situation will change because it's only presenting it so that we can learn a lesson. It's only presenting the challenge for us to learn love. So once we learn love, everything is going to change because we are all connected. Once I change, my mother may change, or I just won't hear about it. I will only attract what is going to mirror back what is going on in myself. If you find something within yourself, then that's going to mirror back to you. The only reason that we have problems, challenges, is because we haven't found something about love within ourselves. So we have to learn that. And so when we're presenting with something that's challenging, it's really just asking us to go inside and learn something about being patient, caring, forgiving, peaceful, trusting, something. But it's all, we can break that down, but it's all about love, really, and what love has to teach us. So, just looking over my notes here. So I had here not victim consciousness, but creation consciousness. So we could think about this like the law of attraction too. But I think it's more than just thoughts. Our thoughts are a part of it, but it's also going within and seeing love, going within our hearts and seeing the truth and the connection that we have with everything. It's not about getting the car, getting the money. That's only a byproduct. That's only the mirror. We need to first find within ourselves what we lack. That's why we have challenges. It's telling us we need to find something within ourselves, a piece of God within ourselves. That's why we're here, is to learn God, to learn love, to learn who we are and what we all are. Okay, and then also I'm going to tell another story. I woke up this morning, I felt somewhat off. I felt just kind of blah. And I've analyzed my feelings before and asked myself, why do I feel this way? What is this about? And took that on, that feeling, and tried to make it go away, tried to fight it, and really identifying with it. I am an empath, and I think that I tend to take on emotions, and I may have taken on my mother's emotions. I do that sometimes. But what really, really helps instead of analyzing it, trying to make it go away, is actually to feel the emotion. So right now I'm going to ask you, I'm going to challenge you here to actually take a moment and pause and go. I usually feel my emotions in my heart. You may feel it somewhere else, but I want you to pause and I want you to actually face what you feel, the energy that you have in this moment with complete acceptance, complete willingness, and openness, not trying to push anything away, just understanding what is there, what your emotions are. So I did that, and what I discovered right now is that I feel peace, I feel calm. Before, when I did this, I felt a sadness in my chest, in my heart. And I felt like crying. I did not cry, but if I did, that would be okay. But it was a very strong emotion, sort of like a wave. I felt the energy sort of like a wave. So when I went into it, so I totally turned inward, totally turned into it. It shifted, it kind of vibrated. Um, and I did that several times because it didn't, it was like I worked with it and it was a wave, but then I worked with it again and it was a wave and another wave, and I just kept, every wave was less intense. It's totally accepted it, okay, like watched it. Um, it's mindfulness basically, if you've ever heard of that. Um, just really aligning with the emotion, not taking it as yourself, but loving it, um, connecting with it. I've in the past taken an emotion and identified with it as myself, saying, well, I'm sad. What happened? What did I do? Why am I sad? When as an empath, I'm probably just taking on the emotions, and just analyzing it does not help. It just, I've had it like stay for like hours, even like a full day, and it just is not helpful. So my lesson to you, my lesson for myself is just to do this, to just feel it. And it doesn't matter if it's my emotion or another's emotion. It really doesn't matter. This whole method just works the best, I believe, unless it doesn't work for you. Everybody's different. But for me, this is what works best. And as a counselor, I'm a counselor, people tend to have this unwillingness to feel their emotions. And this can lead to blockages, um, and it leads to depression and anxiety. Most of my clients, they they identify that they just are unwilling to feel their emotions. They bottle them up. They don't want to feel. They're scared to feel. And this I believe is healthy, to feel our emotions, to let it run through us. Then we don't get the blockages. And of course, we're going to have emotions. Everybody does. Everybody has negative emotions, positive emotions. Um, the people that have positive emotions over the negative emotions, they've gone through a process in which at some point they felt the negative emotions, and they work through those. So everybody at some point has felt the negative emotions, and the people who are mainly positive, I believe, are the ones that have learned not to fight with the negative emotions. They learn to befriend them. They learn to love them as themselves. Because yet again, I say that we are here to learn love and to love everything. Everything. Um, and to not see ourselves as a separate, as the other, something to be against. Okay? Now we can have a higher perspective, yes, but to also look at it and say, hey, not to push this and say, I'm not you, go away, but to say, hey, I see you, and I can be here and look at you and still be myself and accept you while you're there. Um, and when this happens, um, you this the negative, okay, the lesser vibration will transmute, or it will rise. It will rise. Maybe not all the way up to you, but it will rise in some way. And this also leads to a story actually that came to my mind. I was told by a supervisor um, how to handle. So when I first started seeing clients, I would, as an empath, take on their emotions, and so one of my first clients would cry and cry and cry, so sad, and I would just get sad with her. I just want to cry too. Almost. I mean, I wasn't like bawling. I didn't really cry in front of her, but I just would take that on, and I was just like join in her sadness. So it's almost like if you think of a hole, okay, the client is down here, and I would get down with her, get down in her sadness. Well, what happens when we do that? Uh, Remain there. That's not going to be helpful. So what needs to happen, my supervisor said, and this made sense, need to remain up here and throw a rope. Throw a rope. Throw a rope to the client. Okay. So, but also, loving the client. So my message today is about love and what we're here to do. But to also see, I've been in that hole too. I know what that's like, but not getting in the hole. So we could think of emotions that we have too, especially if you're an empath, to understand if you're feeling that. It's just like this as well. I have this emotion, the hole. Okay, I can look at it and feel that. Okay, but recognizing that I am the love. I am the love. I can feel that. I can accept that with willingness. It's not going to harm me. I'm me regardless. I have worth regardless. And then this emotion transmutes, changes. So as an empath, I think we're here doing a lot of this transmutation. We're taking it on and filtering it, and then bringing it back out as light. Okay, but to do that, and my higher self has guided me to assist you, to actually just kind of filter it, let it flow. Someone else, a wise man that I met once, very spiritual man. He described what he said I needed to do was to be the rock and let the emotions flow. That's what he described it as. So that's another way of looking at it. But it flows within you. That's the thing. So you have to allow it to flow. The thing is, it gets stuck. If you need to continue to look inwards, to look inside yourself and feel it. Otherwise, it gets stuck and blocked. Okay, and you also need to not identify with it. Whether it's your emotion, others' emotions, we're not the emotion. We have so many emotions. Emotions are nothing more than our guidance system telling us if we're aligned or not, if we're of the high vibration, if we're matching more of who we are, which is love. So, love, God. So, and then if we did take on another person's emotions, that was just their guidance system. But regardless of that, we do feel different during the day. We we'll go up, down, we'll experience so many things. So, and we can go, actually now I'm thinking, we can expand on this to anything, just any experience that we have. And this goes back to mindfulness. We can be the source of who we are and witness that as the world changes, to be the stillness, to have a willingness and acceptance with life, and to connect with our source within during our days. Like I said, it's like being here and looking at whatever goes on here. May that be other people, just our environment, all the sensory stuff out here. We don't need it to control us. So basically, I guess my whole point today is mindfulness and a lesson of love, to look within yourself and not be controlled by your environment, not meeting your environment. Okay? If you remain up here, your environment is going to change, it's going to shift, and it's going to meet you, it's going to mirror you. This takes practice. As you can see, I have my challenges. Everybody, most of us still have challenges about lessons. But if we go to the law of attraction, this is basically yet again stating that law of attraction. The more that you go in your heart, the more that you see the truth of love and God and find that within yourself, the more that your environment, your whatever your experience is going to mirror back. But we do need to learn to find that even when we are challenged, because that really is the whole human experience. Is we came here to learn, we came here to experience who and what we are. So we are going to get challenged because it wants us. It's there to serve us and to teach us to go inward, to find who we are. So so when my mother tells me stories about how frustrated she is, angry she is, if I'm peace, I need to find that peace within myself. And I believe that that's what this is about, this lesson for me. And so I wrote some affirmations down. I wrote these for myself, and also I think that they'd be helpful for you as well. So here are my affirmations. I can accept my situation. So instead of pushing it away, I accept it. It doesn't have to control me. It doesn't have to tell me who I am. Okay, so I can accept my situation. I can love all involved in this situation without condition. Okay? I don't have to force my mom to learn her lesson. I can love her regardless whether she learns her lesson or not. The lesson is about me. I can't expect her to learn her lesson if I'm not willing to learn mine, right? So, she's not gonna learn hers. Maybe if I don't learn mine, it starts with you. It's about you. So okay, I can love all involved in this situation without condition. Fully and completely love and honor myself in this situation. Okay? Fully and completely love and honor myself in this situation. I forgive myself and all within this situation. So, yeah, I did catch myself kind of, I wouldn't say snapping, but kind of speaking with frustration back to her. And I can forgive myself for that, okay? It's good that I actually caught myself with that. It's good that I caught that and saw that that wasn't going to work and wasn't helpful. And that's when I turned inward, was when I recognized that. So yet again, that's serving me. That's serving me to do something different. It's an opportunity. I can forgive myself. I can move on. I can move past that. Forgive myself and all within this situation. I allow the universe to protect and support me. Okay? I have an openness. I have a trust. Everything's aligning, everything's working out, everything is supporting me. Universe has my back, as some people say. We are all one in love. We are all one in love. Okay. Well, so that was just something I wanted to share because I think it can be helpful for others. It's kind of what life is about in a nutshell, too. And I truly, truly believe that our problems, our challenges are really just trying to teach us how to find what we need inside. We need to find love inside ourselves. For ourselves and everything outside of ourselves, because everything outside of ourselves is us. To understand that we are all connected. And since we are all connected, what you find inside is going to shape outside. So keep that in mind, you know. The more each of us individually go inside, the more collectively we're going to be love. The more we love ourselves, each individual, the more love collectively we will find. And so we can think of that, you know, as, you know, the law of attraction in your life. Okay, if you go inward and find love, you're going to see that in your life. Okay, but the more people that do this, the more lives that attract the love, the more, like, as a world as a whole, okay, even beyond, we are going to find more love as well. Okay, so it's important to do this. It's important to, I don't really want to call it work, but at times it can seem like that, but this is what it's about. We cannot bypass this. We can't try to just expect the world to do its work and to mirror back something for us if we don't want to we don't want to do our inside work. It starts with us. Everything starts with us. Okay. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day, and I hope you find more love and peace within yourself and love and peace within your life and the world as well. I hope we all find more love and peace. All right. Goodbye.